This is Lanal.
What's up?
He's doing a master's in linguistics.
And Sazi, a newly minted LLB grad.
In just a few minutes, we're going to show you what makes UWC really special.
From our proud history to present day achievements.
We'll take a brief look at each of our 7 faculties too.
Giving you a glimpse into what makes UWC truly awesome.
But with over 200 degrees, diplomas, and courses and programs currently on offer, we'll only just skim the surface.
Okay. Less talking and more walking. Drone shot!
UWC is situated right at the tip of Africa, in one of the world's most beautiful cities, Cape Town. Known as the Mother City, Cape Town is the oldest city in South Africa.
We've also got the dopest mountain on the planet, Table Mountain, officially a new wonder of the world, right here in the vicinity of UWC.
We've got one of the most interesting histories of all the universities in South Africa too.
True story.
UWC was originally established during apartheid as a college for colored people only. The first students enrolled in 1960 were offered limited training, not based on their aptitude nor potential, but simply on the color of their skin. As a heavyweight in the struggle against apartheid, UWC was at the forefront of South Africa's historic liberation.
And it still is. If there's real change spilling out on the streets of Cape Town, you can bet UWs will be there too, bringing its unique brand of hope and a depth of knowledge that translates into real, positive action.
It's time for our first faculty. Let's go. The Faculty of Arts, my natural habitat.
This faculty has gained recognition nationally and internationally in both the arts and the humanities.
See ya!
Hi!
Look, we're on a tight schedule. Do you mind giving the good people watching a 15-second preview on what's going on in the best faculty ever?
I can try. English, Arabic, Afrikaans, Xhosa, French, German, Latin, linguistics, geography, environmental studies and tourism, women and gender studies, library and information science, theology, anthropology, philosophy, and sociology.
Girl, you should take my job.
No thanks.
UWC is not confined to one campus. Welcome to UWC Belleville, home of the sickest faculty of them all.
Actually, it aims to make sick people better, Ronald.
I give you the Faculty of Community and Health Sciences.
Here, you can study anything from occupational health to dietetics,
Physiotherapy to psychology,
natural medicine to public health.
Social work and the sports sciences.
Through this faculty, UWC is shaking up the health and social science sphere in South Africa through its training, research, and community-led initiatives.
Six 6001, 6002, 6003, 6004, 6005, 6006.
Can I stop now?
Just a few more seconds. UWC Sport recently launched an elite high performance center to give our top athletes the best facilities possible so that they can join the ranks of so many other sporting legends graduating at UWC, like these guys and girls.
If you have to know how to get Academy, UWC Dentistry Faculty is Africa's leading dentistry faculty. Let's go check it out.
Ronald, you're making no sense at all. Bongi, can you give him something to keep him quiet? Perfect. UWC's dental faculty offers in-depth theoretical training and real clinical exposure. And thanks to its community-based initiatives led by students, more and more South Africans have something to smile about.
Over here, you won't just get a business degree, you'll learn about the business of life. Whether your passion is economics or information systems, accounting or political sciences, UWC can equip you for either the public or the private sector, or both.
Within this faculty, you'll find the Institute for Poverty, Land and Agrarian Studies.
Also known as PLAS, like a farm.
Their policy engagement and research into chronic poverty, economic marginalization, and structural inequality continues to break new ground in Southern Africa. From early childhood education right through to post-school studies, UWC's Faculty of Education offers world-class degrees for a broad spectrum of educational spheres. In every instance, learning and innovation are non-negotiables here.
Aware, good to see you.
Nice to see you too, Ronald.
Hi, Dee.
Hi.
Question: what inspires you about teaching?
I think what I love most about education is that the influence of a good teacher can never be erased.
Good point. You know, I remember when I was in grade 5.
Dudes, we'd all love to hear your story, but we've got places to go, hey? Let's go.
If you're into laying down the law, then check out the Faculty of Law. It's steeped in a culture of human rights and constitutionalism.
In fact, this center played a crucial role in the negotiating and drafting of our interim constitution in 1993.
Offering a rigorous and relevant legal education with unique opportunities to specialize, the faculty is renowned both at home and abroad.
One last faculty to go, the natural sciences. Are you ready?
Naturally.
Court dismissed.
Okay, crazy story. Over the past decade, there has been 1 billion rand invested in UWC's natural sciences infrastructure and research facilities.
Now add to that the fact that some of UWC's own staff are some of the top voices in their field, and the fact that UWC's Department of Physics and Astronomy has been identified as one of the top physics departments on the African continent based on the quality of their research outputs.
There are so many cool things happening here, from researching brand new ways to tap into alternative energy, to the team that first used gene sequencing techniques to identify the COVID-19 virus in Africa. This faculty's research and innovation is having a huge impact on the world as we know it.
This thing is not.
Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Hello. Can I please ask for everybody to please stand as the procession is about to enter the hall?
master's degree so that you continue growing intellectually. So welcome, and with that, I want you to put your hands together to welcome Mr. Macintosh Kasembe, who is the president of the Student Representative Council, and Mr. Kasembe is going to address you now. A very warm welcome to Mr. Kasembe, please. Thank you.
the Vice-Chancellor and the Rector of the University of the Western Cape, Professor Robert John Balfour, members of the Executive Management, Mr. Mani Regal, Mr. Meko Makita, deans and academics, the student leaders and the colleagues, the Student Representative Council led by its President and the Secretary General, Ms. Khanyisa Dos, and most importantly, the first year class of UWC 2026. And I just want to say that over 500,000 applicants nationally for only 200,000 spaces in universities. You, yes, you are part of that collective, and that deserves a thunderous round of applause. My name is Macintosh Kasembe, and I am the SRC President for the 2025-2026 academic year. Welcome. Welcome to a university that was never meant to exist quietly. Welcome to a university that was born out of exclusion, but educated itself into defiance. Welcome to the University of the Western Cape. Now, I want to start with a story. And I want to start by analyzing the history at which this very profound and very sophisticated university was built under. You know, UWC at its establishment in 1960, in fact, I learned last year that it was actually established in 1959, and the first campus of this university was not this campus. It is now a primary school in Belar or Belleville, somewhere there. That's where the first UWC was made. And you see, UWC was not built as a university for privilege. The apartheid government at the time wanted to design it as a university of control. It was designed under apartheid to want to convince black people that they could only become clerks and not thinkers. It was designed for the assumption, the presupposition that it was for obedience, not even the slightest opportunity of imagination. It was designed, the apartheid government wanted to design it at the time as a place of silence, not resistance. But you see, history underestimated what happens when oppressed people are given even a small time to think, especially in a university like yours and mine. So what has happened, fast forward to now what is the University of the Western Cape, this campus became a site of refusal, a site of resistance. One of the first and one of the only where the lecture halls became in and themselves political classrooms. Residences became the organizing spaces for students. Students became thinkers, and thinkers became the revolutionaries, the leaders and the innovators that we have here today in this country. It was here where ideas were sharpened. It was here that the oppressed learned how to speak back. It was here that the intellectual backbone of the democratic South Africa was forged. That is the DNA of UWC. So when you say that I am a UWC student, you're not just describing where you are studying, you are making a claim and a fact. You're making a claim and a fact that education must serve society. You are making a claim and a fact that knowledge must confront injustice. You are making a claim and a fact that excellence is not elitist, it is rather liberating yourself from the clutches of our very fragmented society. UWC, in my opinion, Registrar, just does not produce spectators of history. It rather produces the participants and the innovators of this country. That is what UWC builds. And so as I was preparing for my address here today, I asked myself the central question, compared to my first orientation, which, by the way, I remember very vividly. At the time, the SRC president was Pumulelani Mshumi, and there was a few pointers that he left us with. And so as I prepared here today, I thought about what are some of the things that I want to leave each and every one of you with. What are some of the mental gems, the archives that I want you to leave out of this room with, very practically what you should learn and what you should be in this intellectual hub that is the University of the Western Cape. And so I decided on 3 things. And the first thing that I want to say is, you see, at UWC, excellence is not optional. It's an undying duty. You do not study here in UWC merely to just pass. You study because Africa is in desperate need for leaders who can actually think ethically. Lawyers who understand the justice beyond the textbooks, the scientists, the doctors and teachers who know that their work must serve, the economists and businessmen who understand that inequality is a lived reality, not a statistic. We exist because of that. So that's the first thing that I want to say to you. And before I continue, let me pause here. Because leadership at UWC is not abstract. It is organized, it is accountable, and it is very much present. Allow me to introduce to you the Student Representative Council, 14 capable, committed, and competent student leaders that were elected by the students of this university to defend students' rights, to defend their interests, to ensure that in those boardrooms we confront the injustices and the lived realities of students. These are revolutionaries in their own rights, leaders in their own rights that are here to defend you. And even if it means we have to put our bodies on the line, that we shall do very gladly. So I want to start by introducing to you, and colleagues, please do help me just to wave your hand so that all of the first-year students can see their leaders. At any point in time, do not be afraid to come to your SRC members, together with its substructures that you will meet in the not-so-distant future, are here to serve you. We're not celebrities on campus. So with that being said, I want to introduce firstly the Deputy President of the SRC, Mr. Theo Mkwalana. I want to introduce to you the Chief Administrative Officer of the SRC, the Secretary General, Ms. Khanyisa Dos. I would also like to take the opportunity to introduce the postgraduate student liaison officer. Some of you will be postgraduates in about the next 3 to 4 years' time, and it's important that you know that UWC has a dedicated portfolio in the SRC to champion postgraduate affairs. And with that being said, I'd like to introduce Ms. Andiswa Boya. To my sports fanatics, we also have the sports officer of the SRC, Mr. Luvuezo João Antonio. Many of you would know him by now. Some of you came into these doors without accommodation, but it was through his persistent and very consistent work, together with the SRC and its substructure, ensuring that you are housed, you are sheltered, and your right to a safe, adequate, and dignified housing is championed. I would like to introduce to you the Accommodation Affairs Officer, Mr. Apile Mbongwa. I would also like to introduce to you the other half of the Chief Administration of the SRC, the Deputy Secretary General, Mr. Thabiso Dube. We're almost there, don't worry. I'd also like to introduce to you the Policy and Transformation Officer, Ms. Inati Kokela. And when we exist, we don't only exist to produce local giants, but we rather exist also to produce African giants in their respective countries. And this is why it's important that we have an international student liaison officer. Allow me to also introduce to you Delight Farai Mapeza. The Gender and Safety Officer, Mr. Zachary Heinemann. The Student Governance and Services Officer, Ms. Toenga Lekao. The Tito Mboweni of the SRC, the Treasurer General, Mr. Akanya May. And last, but believe me, definitely not least, there to champion your overall academic affairs, the Student Academic Officer who does very diligent work, Ms. Orion Dabambi Nkwenkwez. Now let me return to the work. You see, being a student leader in UWC has never meant popularity. It has always meant principle at a time where even the university may forget even its own purpose of existence. Leadership here is not about titles. It's about standing firm when the system will always or sometimes fail students. It is about speaking truth when silence becomes more convenient. It is about choosing collective progress over personal comfort, rather. And this is why UWC leaders have always been uncomfortable people in comfortable rooms. So the second thing that I want to say to you is this. You see, to be a UWC student, it is to think critically even when it is inconvenient to do so. Let me double click for a moment. We do not inherit freedom just by memorizing notes. We sustain it by firstly questioning power. So as you enter into these doors of this university, do not be afraid to ask very difficult questions. Do not be afraid to interrogate what you are taught. Do not be afraid to read beyond the curriculum. Do not be afraid to understand the university's history because it explains its presence. Critical thinking, in my opinion, is not disrespect. It is the first responsibility that you bear as a student in UWC. Many of you, and let me be frank for a moment, many of you came here against the odds. Some of you come from households where this degree represents generations of sacrifice. There are some of you in this room that will be the first in their lineage of family, in their lineage of each and every collective of their own, that will be the first to obtain a degree. Some of you carry financial distress very silently. Some of you will feel overwhelmed before you become confident. Let me tell you this clearly. You belong here. UWC has always been made a home for students who arrive unsure and then they leave transformed. Here's the last thing that I want to say to each and every one of you. And this is something that even my own father taught me in the first day that I entered the doors of this university. It was the longest drive ever from Orange Farm to the Intercape bus depot. But he said the following: never, ever forget who you are studying for. You are studying for your family. You are studying for your underprivileged community. You are studying for the students and your marginalized brothers and sisters who will come after you. You are studying for a continent that is still awaiting ethical leadership. And you know, in just what I've said, I just want to add a pre-context to this, that Registrar, I don't think that Africa lacks talent. Africa doesn't lack talent. We have so much of this. But I do think that our very continent and even our own country lacks disciplined, conscious excellence. That's what we lack. And so I want to ask of you today to be that generation. Be that generation that is going to understand very deliberately and very carefully who you are studying for. Never, ever forget that. So first years, my freshers, you're not just entering a university, you're entering a tradition of struggle, a tradition of thought, a tradition of courage. Carry the DNA of UWC with pride. Study hard, think deeply, and lead very ethically. And when the history calls, of which it will inevitably, may it find you ready. Welcome to the University of the Western Cape, the University of the intellectual left, the University of the poor and the working class that always punches above its weight. Welcome to the work that awaits and will ask a lot from you. Have fun and experience this university to the fullest so that when you leave, when you exit these doors of the university, you leave these doors better than how we found you. Congratulations, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for that inspiring speech, Mr. Kasembe. And just so that you know, when we talk about aspiring to graduate one day, together with those aspirations, I think you need to also add everything else that you can do, because university is not just only about the academic project. It's also about getting involved in sporting in sporting activities, in clubs, in societies, and getting a fully balanced, well-balanced, all-rounded education. So when you look at Mr. Kasembe today and listen to him, that's another aspiration. I want to be in a student leadership group sometime in this journey. So think about what else you would like to achieve as you begin the first day of this very new chapter of your life. So with that, every university has a university council, which is the highest governance structure of a university. It provides governance oversight to ensure that the university operates as prudently and as efficiently as possible. The chairperson of our council is Ms. Mpongoshe, and we are delighted to have Ms. Mpongoshe here with us today, and she is now going to address you. So please put your hands together to welcome Ms. Mpongoshe.
Absheng Dumelang, Sanibonani, Molweni, Goeiemorgen. Good morning, everyone. Rector, Registrar, Executive Management, Deans of Faculty, leaders of the student body. I don't see our labor representatives here today. They're normally part of these proceedings. And trust me, I'm sure they are with us in spirit. Let me start by thanking Mr. Kasembe for his speech, which in many respects mirrors the speech that I was going to deliver. But because he has said all the things I wanted to say, I'm going to try and say, slightly different things this morning to you guys. So I happen to be a past student of this university. Many years ago, I sat on these chairs I was 19 at the time. And I had mixed feelings about the experience. There was excitement on the one hand, but also there was a bit of anxiety about what was facing me. Because if ever there was something that was a critical rite of passage in one's life, this would be it. Moving from being a child and a teenager under the supervision of your parents at home, where you are woken up in the morning, someone makes you breakfast, they make sure that you do your homework, and all of those types of things, to being this independent young lady or young man, for most of you in a city far away from home, and having to make your own decisions, starting with whether you are going to wake up or not, because your first choice in the morning is whether you are going to get out of bed or not. And then you make several other choices as the day goes along. And so all of those decisions are now your decisions. So you are undergoing a transformative process now, starting with those little things in your life. So you need to, my request to you would be that you approach this process exactly for what it is. It's a process that is intended to transform you from being a child to being an adult. What are the tools that you are going to need to do that? One of the tools that you are going to need is courage. You need courage, and for you to have courage, you must first understand who you are. Again, to Mr. Kasembe's point, where do you come from? Why are you here? What is it that you are serving? Why are you here? And for most of us, even then at the time, it was about our parents back home, our communities, our society in general. So we needed and we wanted to effect change. We needed and we wanted to be catalysts for change and positive change. And so for that, you need to be able to make up your own mind. You need to have an independent mind. And you will cultivate that independent mind. And a part of your education here will get you to that point, and very quickly. Because, like I said, now you are going to have to make decisions by yourself and for yourself. So your identity, deciding what your identity is outside of friends and everybody else, is going to be very critical, because that's going to allow you to make choices, whether right or wrong, because at this point in your life, you should know the difference between right and wrong. So that's the first thing, courage, identity. The second issue is purpose. I asked you, why are you here? So I'm sure most of you, when you left home, it wasn't just about you making all the decisions about, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. It was a decision framed by yourself with the support of your parents, your siblings, etc. But it goes beyond that. It is actually a decision that at some point in your life will impact your family, your community, your society at large, the continent. So you need to think about these things, about how important you are to that ecosystem, how important and valuable your input is going to be in that ecosystem. So you need to take that seriously as you traverse this journey. So for me, those are the two critical things. Never forget. Never, ever forget. And that is the mark of a UWC student. Mr. Magida and I studied together at this university. And every decision I now work for a corporate in South Africa. But every decision that I make is framed by me understanding that the decision that I'm going to make here today is going to impact South Africans in general. That is the makeup of a UWC student. We were taught that I studied law, but law doesn't operate outside of society. And social issues are critical to how you think as a lawyer, understanding those social issues and how they impact people. And so if you're going to be impacting people's lives in the decisions that you make, you need to understand that context. And you are going to be taught all of those things here. And my wish and prayer is that when you come out of this university and you go out into the world, you reflect that ethos of this university. And then on a more practical side, we deal with a lot of issues around depression and crime. So please, to the extent that you feel some level of anxiety or, make sure that you use the resources that the university offers, because there are resources that you can, you can leverage, for purposes of ensuring that you feel comfortable and you feel welcome at the university. So those resources are there. Make sure that you access them. And then from a crime perspective, I really would like to urge you, each and every one of you, the responsibility starts with each one of us, you included. So make sure that you are safe, you don't go to places, understand your environment. Make sure you ask the right questions. If you're going to go out, to Belleville or something like that, ask, what the safest way of getting there is. Ideally, make sure that you always have company, when you are moving around the campus or outside of the campus especially. And with that, welcome to UWC. I really want you to enjoy your experience here because, when you get to my age, you realize, actually, my teens and my 20s were the best years of my life. And I want you to have that for yourselves as well. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
So the chair of council told you that these will be the best years of your life, and I think I just broke the mic. Maybe one of my colleagues will come and help me sort this out. Okay, so you all seem to be very quiet and thank you. To be worried, you are unsure of what's happening. How many of you are sitting here without knowing anyone else in this hall? No friends, no schoolmates, you've come here on your own. You're a bit nervous, you're a bit anxious. Anyone? Hands up. Don't be shy. It's quite a few of you. So let's correct that right now. I want you to turn to the person to your left and introduce yourself and tell them where you've come from. You know your left, eh? This one. Okay. Parents, you need to do that as well, hey? Now turn to the person to your right. Your right, and introduce yourself. Hi there. I'm not seeing that happening. Okay, now turn to the person behind you. Parents, you should be doing that too. Thank you very much. So now you should leave this hall knowing at least 3 other people, okay? And what Ms. Mpangoshe talked about earlier is very, very true. The people you meet in this hall today, the people you meet on campus during your academic journey are the people that you will have networks with, you will make friendships with, that will last a lifetime. So capitalize on that. Make sure you meet as many people as you can. These are the people that you will meet throughout your life, and who knows where that could lead. Right now, in this very hall, could be sitting someone who could be your life partner. And the SRC president says that's true, he agrees. So use the opportunity. Parents, it's all good. We will be watching them, don't worry. Okay, so the SRC president, Mr. Kasembe, took an opportunity to introduce all of his peers and his colleagues to you. I want to do the same, because who you have sitting in front of you today is the senior management team of the university. These are people who make the decisions at the university, people that you would go to when you're having problems, you're not sure what to do in your faculty. These are the people you would seek counsel from. So I want to introduce you to them. Today we have in this hall 3 faculties, students from 3 faculties, as I said earlier, the Faculty of Arts and Humanities, the Faculty of Dentistry, and the Faculty of Education. So on stage here we have the deans of those 3 faculties as well, and if you are from one of those faculties, you should take careful note of who your dean is as I do the introductions. But I'm going to start off with the Vice-Chancellor and Rector, Professor Robert Balfour, the Vice-Chancellor of the university. We then have Professor Monwabisi Khalakhala, who is the Deputy Vice-Chancellor Academic. Next to him is Professor Matete Madiba. She is the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Student Development and Support. Then we have Professor Priscilla Baker, who is the Acting Deputy Vice-Chancellor for Research. Next to Prof. Baker is Mr. Mani Regal, our Chief Financial Officer, Executive Director of Finance and Services, the man with the money and the purse. Make special note. Then we have Mr. Meko Magida, who is the Executive Director of Human Resources. And as I introduced myself earlier, I'm the registrar, and together the 7 of us make up the executive management team of the university. I will now introduce my colleagues on the far right, and these are the deans of the various faculties. So the students from Arts and Humanities, the very first dean is Professor Fiona Muller. Prof. Muller, your students are always the noisiest. Let's see when we get to the other faculties if you can beat them, right? Right now we've got Professor Anita Padmanabhanani. She is the Dean of the Faculty of Community and Health Sciences. Let's hear it from the dentistry students. Professor Jeff Yengopal, the Dean of Dentistry. I think arts outdid you. Then I want to see who's next to Prof. Yengopal. Okay, Prof. Michelle Iso is the Dean of Economic and Management Sciences faculty. students from education, unfortunately your dean couldn't be with us today, he is abroad. But we have the Deputy Dean, Professor Rowan Marmon, who is standing in for the Dean. Rector, these are our teachers of the future, our educators. They are rather loud, eh? And then we have, I think, Prof. Jacques Deville is the professor. Jacques Deville is the Dean of the Faculty of Law. And then the Dean of the Faculty of Natural Sciences, unfortunately, is unwell and couldn't join us today, but we do have the Deputy Dean, Professor Admire Dube, who is standing in. So the executive management, together with the deans, make up the senior management of the university. A big round of applause. So now you know who the important people of the university are, hey? So when you need big decisions to be taken, don't forget who your dean is. But before you get to your dean for any query or any complaint or any issue, there is a protocol in place. So in the department that you are registered in, your first point of call will be your lecturer, then your head of department. From the head of department, you will then go to the dean. If you are still not satisfied with the outcome, you'll then go higher to the Deputy Vice-Chancellor Academic before you go to the Rector. Okay, so Prof. Khala is the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, is the person you will trouble, but only after you have met with the dean. So with that, let's put our hands together to welcome the Rector and Vice-Chancellor of the University, Professor Robert Balfour, who is going to welcome you.
Good morning, everybody. To our Chair of Council, Ms. Mpongoshe, thank you so much for being with us this morning. To our SRC President, Mr. Kasembe, and the whole of the SRC leadership team, thank you also for being with us and for welcoming our students this morning. To all our colleagues in the executive and senior management, thank you also for making yourselves known to our students in a lovely way. To the guardians and the families who are gathered here, all the loved ones who have come along to support our students on the first day at UWC, thank you so much for being with us today, and welcome to everybody to the University of the Western Cape. It is indeed a new chapter in your lives, and it may feel exciting, it may feel overwhelming, and those early feelings of being new in a place are often what create the first impressions for you in a place. This is a moment that is very much about your future, about the transitions, as Ms. Mpongoshe noted, to adulthood, about the intellectual formation that will keep you going throughout your adult life, and about the inspirations that will motivate you to do the work you do, to be the best people who you can be in our respective places of work, communities, family life, and the like. So it's a journey not only in academic learning, but a journey which is profoundly grounded, as our SRC President noted, on an understanding of the past, and as our chairperson noted, on understanding why we are here, understanding who we are. History not only comes from the past, it's also made by you. You are part of that history today. You are making your own histories today, and may it be the first wonderful day in what we hope will be a wonderful, exciteful, and impactful life. As Mr. Kasembe also noted, many thousands of young people seek to join the university every year. These are young people who, like yourselves, may have met the requirements, but the university takes always the very best of our young people into its fold as part of the intellectual project of South Africa and the development of a new generation of thought leaders. You are not only a student here, you are a thought leader in the making here. And so the opportunity carries enormous expectation. It carries enormous investment, whether through a bursary or through your family or through those who are supporting you financially. That investment is part of who you will honor in the course of your studies. Students often forget that our state contributes half of the cost of every university student's studies. So while the fees are one component of studies, the state subsidy, the state and government support for each one of you individually is a significant part also of the investment that South Africa makes collectively as a state in a new generation of young people, of thought leaders. The investments carry expectation, and they require, as many of my colleagues have noted this morning, really a commitment to self-discipline. University life also introduces a dynamic which can sometimes sit in tension with itself. It comes with freedom. You determine your own pace. You determine your late hours of study. You determine your hours of play. You determine your hours of relaxation. But there is also a commitment to classwork, a commitment to being an active participant in a class, not only being the quiet person who sits absorbing everything, but being the one who is asking the questions and contributing to the quality of the learning in the space. So that freedom comes with the discipline that creates your potential. Your growth here will therefore require very deliberate choices. You must intentionally decide, I'm going to get up early and make that early morning class. You're going to need to decide, I'm going to not only read what I've been asked to read, but I'm going to read some extra things related to this topic so that I understand it more from every angle. You're going to be required to ask questions. And I remember when I was a first-year student myself, having been one of those very quiet boys in a school, you know, the one that sits on the side and in the back and doesn't ask questions, and how I realized very quickly that it's so different at university, so different. You have to ask questions because the learning is not given to you by a teacher, but is also co-constructed with your colleagues and your peers in the room. The knowledge is discovered together. The practice of discovering knowledge is created together in a classroom. It's not just a one-sided dialogue or conversation. There will always be moments of difficulty in a journey such as this. And at times you can really feel a bit isolated or lonely. But as our registrar so thoughtfully did this morning, reach out and seek help. I remember once, when I applied for a job many years ago, there was an opportunity where I was interviewed by the panel over a lunch. And I didn't think this was part of the interview. I thought it was just a meal together. I wasn't aware I was being assessed. And then afterwards, I got feedback from somebody who was at the lunch with me and who said, we were really encouraged by the fact that you sought help when you didn't understand something. And I said, what is that? Is that a requirement of the job? And they said, yes, help-seeking behavior is a requirement in this job. And the same is true for you as young people. Help-seeking behavior is a requirement of a good student. When you need it, you look for it, you find it. It's also, as Ms. Mpongoshe noted, an exciting time for all sorts of other activities. And I want to speak plainly about our commitment to care and to safety on this campus. We do not tolerate bullying. We do not tolerate gender-based violence. So the young men in our audience today and the young women, be mindful, please be mindful of this. We say no to that, the bullying culture. We say no to online bullying, no to violent treatment of each other. And I want also then to say, when you move around off campus and you go to town and you go out, please don't go late at night and on your own. Always move together, your friends together, or with a special friend together, move together. Because alone, we are all vulnerable. So I'm being very candid with you here, with our parents in the audience, very straightforward about this. Do not walk alone late. Do not go out late and be on your own. Because these issues in our society about violence, the abuse of substances, and so on, happen when you least expect, in the place you least expect it to happen. Be mindful, be present in the moment, be careful. You're also studying at a time when intellectual leadership, as our SRC president also noted, is really critical. It's so necessary in Africa. And I'm inspired by a figure known as Helen Keller, who you might have heard of, but she was born blind and she was born deaf from an earliest times. And she became such an inspiring figure to people, Helen Keller. And she reminded us that your strength is formed in relation to the things you overcome, the struggles you overcome. So when you encounter struggle in the classroom, don't give up. I remember when I used to struggle with mathematics, I used to talk on the phone to my mum. I used to say, I can't take this subject, mathematics, I'm struggling with it. And eventually she got so bored with me talking about mathematics, she said, just give it up. If you don't like it, just give it up. And that was such a reality check for me to say to myself, struggle through it, succeed with it. Don't give up on it. Don't give up on it. Keep the challenge going. In my closing remarks, I have two final images I'd like to share. When this university was established, it stood on this open ground called the Cape Flats. All of you will know that the Cape Flats has sandy soil, like beach soil. And it was windswept. There were no trees. There was dust and wind. And it was a very exposed situation. But over generations, the people who are like you and me, who built institutions, started from a small beginning, planting the seeds for the future. And now, when you walk on this campus, it is covered with trees that have grown over decades and decades, hard work, good performance, good investment in the place, leading to the success, and now you are a part of it. Now you are like the young tree growing in the soil, and we are the nurturing space together, helping each other to grow. We don't become strong overnight. We take root in a challenging ground, and we learn to thrive. We learn to withstand the wind, and over time we create shade for others. And you are like that with us today. Across our continent, the baobab tree is the most wonderful example of this kind of phenomena. Known in isiXhosa and isiZulu as umboba, it strives and survives precisely because the conditions are not easy. It develops depth and strength over time. In the same way, then, let no circumstance defeat you. Let no question seem like the stupid question. Every question is a step to learning on your pathway. And be like the butterfly. The butterfly is born out of resistance. It is born out of that sense of struggle against the cocoon. And it spreads its wings, and then it is beautiful. You are like those butterflies. You are on this journey of growth and development. And as our chairperson and our registrar said, and our president noted, you will transform yourselves as a result of this commitment. My advice is thus, in closing for you, put in the work that helps you gain the understanding you need to succeed. You will not always notice the growth from day to day. You know, if you pull out a carrot every day to see how much it has grown, you kill the carrot. You've got to give it time to grow. Give yourselves the time to grow, and you will notice year on year this wonderful, wonderful journey of intellectual development. Thank you for joining us at UWC, and we wish you a wonderful, wonderful time on our campus and a wonderful time together for the future. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Professor Balfour, for those very wise words. So as we come to the close of our program, there are a few messages that were given to you today. And just in point form, the most important ones were, make sure you are safe, make good choices. You will be confronted with choices every single day while you are at university. Make the right choice for you. Don't go anywhere alone. Make sure you have friends, you are with someone. But most importantly, ask for help. There is help available all around the university. We have various support structures available to provide you with support in every form that you need. And as we leave the hall today, we will hand over to colleagues who are then going to advise you around the orientation program for the rest of the week. Make sure you participate in that, because that program is going to inform you about what is available on campus and how to access that. It is the most critical part of this journey. If you do not participate in it for this week and you come back next week for lectures, you will feel lost. So participate in that. Know there is support available, and ask for help when you need it. You are not alone on this journey. So with that, let's all stand while the procession leaves the hall, and after that, remain seated for my colleagues to give you further instructions. Thank you very much, and all the best for this year. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing? You may be seated, please.
about that. So as mentioned, I'm Nazrana from Career Services, and we are responsible for your orientation. That is your transition from school to university, and as our name states, Career Services, we're also responsible for your transition from university and beyond. So for today, and our focus for this week is only you. You are our VIP at university this week. So you have heard formal proceedings. Now the fun starts. We are here to welcome you to orientation where, like I've mentioned, it's all about you. Parents, you have the opportunity of staying for a few minutes, and as soon as this component is over, then you may leave. Okay, so you can hang around for a few more minutes. You don't need to leave immediately. So we are very glad that you've chosen UWC as your institutional partner on your academic journey. But we need to know who you are, who makes up our first years. So let's just get an idea. And if you don't know, we've got some additional first years sitting in GH2 and 3. So it's not just all of you. We've got 2 additional venues full of first years and parents also here today behind this wall. And next to it upstairs, there are 2 more venues. Well, yeah. There's 2 more full of first year students. So let's just get an idea who makes up our first years. Let's see how many ladies we have in the house. Can all the females please stand? Exactly. So as you can see, women make up a majority of our student population. Round of applause. Welcome, ladies. Thank you. Can I have a seat? So there's a lot of woman power on this campus. Students from countries in Africa, except South Africa, obviously. Students from across the African continent. Anyone here from beyond South Africa? Understand? Anyone? Our neighbors, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, anyone from anywhere across Africa? No? Not in this room? Maybe in one of the other venues. Students from outside of South Africa. Any international students here? If you could stand. No one? Anyone? One? Welcome. Any siblings present? Any twins, triplets? We tend to have quite a few of those. No twins, no triplets? Anyone who has a sibling currently studying at UWC? Yes? Okay. So I'm sure they've given you all the secrets about the best places to hang out and the best places to grab food and so forth. Any parents who have graduated from UWC? Parents? One. Any parents who are currently studying at UWC? No? No. Any Orlando Pirates or Kaiser Chiefs supporters? Okay, I think because we're short of time, we're going to leave it there. But orientation is all about settling in and getting started with the least amount of anxiety. And as staff and small teams, we cannot do this on our own. We require the help of our senior students. Our students that are going to be your support over the next week and possibly beyond to assist you in adjusting to the University of the Western Cape and to campus and help you transition from school to university. So I'd like to ask you to welcome your senior students who will sacrifice 2 weeks of their vacation to help you. So orientation guides, the space is yours. Please welcome our volunteers.
about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
Orientation guides. So they have spent the last 9 days preparing for you. They did not learn just to dance as a team. They did so much more. Thank you, OGs. Go grab some water, get your bags, and we will be with you in a moment, okay? So I was told not to touch the mic. Let me just remember that. Okay, so university, as serious as it is, it can be a lot of fun. Fun in terms of opportunity to learn and to grow, but at the same time, fun in discovering who you are and discovering all the potential that you have. Because university is much more than just gaining a qualification. It is so much more. In order to make success of your orientation or your time at university, it's important to attend the entire orientation week. Orientation is not one day, it is 5 days, from today until Friday. So parents, if your child tells you that no, the day finished before 3:30, you know that there's a problem because the day only finishes at 3:30, if not a little bit later today for some faculties. So let me invite to the stage the DVC, SDS, Prof. Matete Madiba, to welcome you from Student Development and Support and share some key motivation. Thank you, Prof.
Tobela, good morning. I am so grateful that you are here. You heard the numbers of how many others have applied. I am so grateful that you have accepted those offers that we gave to you. And I can't say it enough that we are grateful that you are here. You have joined this community. And for those with yellow t-shirts, I just need tutorials. I think we must send a recommendation that the executive should take those tutorials, and as we start the first session, we must start it with this energy. I hope that you understand that you are heartily welcomed in this university. From now on, you belong to UWC, to UWC. You are part of this family and community. And we are here, from senior students to the management of the university, we are here to support you. The lecturers, even those who clean our campus, they try to keep it clean, just that you enjoy learning in a dignified environment. So we are here to make sure that you succeed. And I hope that you heard one of the biggest messages in the morning, help-seeking behavior. What we are saying is ask for support. Maybe for some people when we say ask for help, it makes you feel like, am I weak? Why should I be asking for help? No, there is a lot of help around. We talk about support resources that are lined up, stacked up for you. So make sure that you ask the right questions. Each time you need some extra support, each time you need help, ask, and you will receive that help. For sure, you know that you knock and then the door will be open for you. We are looking forward to you carrying your dreams, your aspirations, making yourselves proud that you have joined this community, making your parents proud that they have sacrificed for you to be here, making your communities to reverberate, to sing praises about you, because you'll be role modeling what it means to take advantage of opportunities and change or transform your life into a life of significance. South Africa is waiting. It's not just your community. It's not just your parents and your siblings who are waiting. South Africa is waiting for your leadership. For sure, you are aware that as a country, we have current struggles, and we have to get out of these struggles, and the country is waiting for you. So that vision, that dream that you have, make sure that you go after it. And I want to convince myself, and I hope you're convinced too, that your biggest dream is to complete your degree, your first degree on time. Completion on time is possible. That is why us, from the Student Development and Support, we have a number of resources, as I said earlier, stacked up for you. You'll hear about career services. As first years, you need to be asking questions about, by the way, where am I going? What do I need to start doing whilst I'm on campus? We want you to build your CV whilst you are on campus. You'll hear about student leadership. Take up those leadership positions that are going to come your way. You are going to grow so much because your stay here on campus is about growth. You are here to transform your life to become a life of significance, because South Africa is waiting for you. Africa is waiting for you. Actually, the whole world, the globe has shrunk so much. The whole world is waiting for you. That is why you need to transform your life into a life of significance. You'll hear about CSSS, the Center for Student Support. Resources lined up for you. You'll hear about WISER, that chat bot that you can just, at the click of a button on your cell phone, ask questions to strengthen your mental health. You'll hear about our sports achievements, but we'll be inviting you to enjoy this sporting environment that UWC is all about. But above it all, I want to say, as you access resources and areas that are, and resources that are going to help you grow, please make us proud in the classroom. We want you to succeed. So make sure that even those resources that are put into your classroom, tutors and mentors and the lecturers and everybody else, make sure that you take good advantage, because completion on time is really a good way of spending your time. Do not squander this one resource that is yours, that where you have full control time. Never spend it on things that won't make you proud. We are inviting you to come be part of this university and help us to keep flying in terms of success. My prayer is, as you join this community, is for you to thrive, to become that life of significance, and really to succeed. All the best, class of 2026. Welcome.
Thank you, Prof. I think we are now at a point where I think it's very important to mention that we are here to get, I know, the education, but I want us to remember that no matter our background, we are not going to let our challenges define us. UWC has got quite a bit of support available for our students, and over the next week, you as a first year, you're going to be exposed to all of the resources that Prof has mentioned and much more. Because education has the opportunity to change, actually it is the potential to change our lives. And we need to make sure that we set you up for success. So what's going to happen now is we're going to divide you into your groups and you're going to go off to your faculty welcome. I'm going to ask the dentistry faculty OGs to kindly enter the hall. Can all the dentistry and oral health students stand? Even if you're in GH2 and 3, your OGs are on their way to fetch you. So dentistry OGs, are you here? Okay. What's going to happen now is that OGs for dentistry are going to walk you over to your faculty welcome. This faculty welcome and the program